Hi, this is Sherry Patton Ceramics, and today we are making a lion's foot with the claws. We'll start with the top and the claws here before going to the bottom, because I know some of you probably aren't interested in the pads, but others of you are. I want you to notice from the side of this foot how it's lower here and then it goes up here for those powerful joints that are connected to those claws. So here we are. Begin with a piece of clay. Roll it. I would usually make the claw along with the leg at the same time. So now for that foot, I'm making sure that there's no air bubbles here as I round this area. And then what I'm going to do is just take it and bend it. Just like that. Now notice that there's a stress crease right here. If we don't put a piece of clay there, it will crack. So I'm just taking a piece of clay, dipping it in some water since this is really fresh clay, and pressing it in. I also need to not have this be a round area. It needs to be more sharp. So I'm going to take the piece and I'm going to bounce it on my desk. First this way, and then the other way. So now it's much more angular so that it will stand up. And I'm going to smoothen that piece of clay in that area where it was stressed. And I can see that this area is a little bit long. And that's good because all I'm going to do is push it at the end here to make that front area go up. That you could see on this one. It goes up right here. And then it goes back down. So I'm pressing it down right here. And I'm pressing this area back and down and looking at it from the front. Notice how this goes out on this side. So I'm pushing in right on this side. They're very, very large feet. You can see that when they're walking. All right, so now, next step, we're going to make sure that this area is up enough. If it's not, I think I will go ahead and add another piece of clay to that top area right there before I cut this. Just going to roll it a little bit, smooth it out, dip it in some water, and add it to really make it go up in this area. And smooth it. Smooth the other side. So now it's much more obvious and it looks more powerful. All right. So now what we're going to do is cut right where those toes are going to go. They're pretty long. You can see right here. You start way back. And there are 4 toes. So make it easy on yourself and start in the middle. Cut one back all the way through. And then you're going to make this one a little bit smaller than this one. So that's why I cut there. Again, I'm making this part a little bit smaller. So I'm cutting right there, cutting back a ways. And then I'm going to use a wooden tool. With this large one, I could use my fingers, but I have a feeling most of you will not be doing a foot this large. So notice how I'm pushing it on its side here and on its side more here. I'm not just, I can go down right down the middle at first, and then I go side to side. And then at the very bottom, you can use that wooden tool again, or you can use your fingers. I'm also pushing this back toe, or I should say this end toe back, because these ones are further out than these two when we look at lions. So now we're going to go ahead and add the toenails. Take a piece of clay, little piece of clay, and roll it in your fingers so that you're not doing it evenly. You're putting more pressure on this side so that it ends up being kind of the shape of a carrot. And then you're going to dip it in water or score and slip, and you're going to add it towards the top middle of the foot, like this. You could even start it up higher if you wanted on the toe. The main thing is you don't want this nail hitting down on the bottom here. And the reason for that is because when lions walk, you don't see those nails hitting the ground. When you look at their footprints, their nails are not hitting the ground. They retract when they're walking, so they go up inside this area. Yeah, I'm liking this one better. This one's a little low and starting. I'm just going to take a tiny piece of clay and add it up at the top. You can smooth it later. So again, rolling, putting more pressure here. Looking at the size. I'm rounding the top because that's how they are. Dipping it in water and adding it. That one's a bit larger than the others. You can play with the size. Depends on what you're going for. I'm sure that some have shorter, some have longer nails. Dip it in water. And the last one. If you make it too long, you can always just take it, cut it off with your finger, and then squeeze with the bottom of your finger. There we are. So now we're going to go on to the bottom of the foot. Again, get a wooden tool and smooth it with it. Finish with your fingers. And now for the pads. So these pads you can see are oval shaped. First, you can start with a sphere. So round and round. And then to make it oval, you go back and forth. So just like that. And let's see the size. Oh, that's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and make the other ones before I put them on, because then it'll be quicker. This one gets a little bit big. Round and round. And back and forth. And I need two that are a little bit smaller. So round and round. And back and forth. Slightly smaller. back and forth. Those are a little bit too much the same. I've just ripped off a little tiny piece. There's really not too much difference in the size. Just a wee bit. There we go. And now we're going to add them. So dip in the water and put them up. We can squish them down after we add them. Again, score and slip. I'm not doing it right here because I don't want to take too long in this video. I don't need to show you how to score and slip. Alright, now I'm pushing them down. So they stay better. Good. And now for that main pad. So it's kind of like looks like a rainbow with a little bump. If you look at it like a rainbow, goes down, up, down, up, down. Look at it from this side. So let's look at the size. That looks about right. And then I'm just going to curve it down. You could, if you wanted, just take a piece of clay, flatten a little bit, draw the shape, and then cut out the shape. I could show you how to do that here. So I'm just cutting out that shape a little bit. Might be easier on you. Depends on if you like to use tools and your experience. That looks pretty good. I can always adjust it once I get it on. Dip it in water and put it on. I love how these look once you get the pads on. There we are. And now we're going to add those extra little pads there. And they're more circular. So I'm just going to roll, roll, roll. And add a little one there. And one more on the other side. These pads make them really, really silent when they walk. So they could sneak up on things. And the other one like that. And there we have a lion's foot. Thanks for watching.